Testing. Hello?
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 Hello,
Hi,
Hello?
who's this?
this is Nella.
Oh, hey, Nella, hold on, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I am just getting ready to start a Skype meeting, so I
Okay.
can't
Do you
talk
want
to you
me
right now.
call you later?
Yeah, do you want me to call you or do you want to call me?
I'll call you later. It's fine.
Okay, give me an hour.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Allie Bram.
Hi.
You made it to this one.
Hi.
I did.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
I
Hi.
made it. Are you proud of me?
Heyo.
Do you want to see some good dogs? That's Randy. Randy, girl. Randy. Oh, there's a good
Okay,
Kind
so
of looks like my dog.
Joey. That's the ugly one.
Correct.
All right.
hey, so who's here?
Allie is here.
Cassidy.
Hello.
Okay, who's here from fifth period? That's David. Anybody else from fifth period? Chris?
I think Jelena.
I am
Yep,
from
Jelena.
second.
Okay. And from third period, we have Cassidy and Karen. Looks like Jelena and Caleb are here. And
Oh, wow. There's a lot of people here, actually.
Carson.
Oof.
Carson, what's your name on here? Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, third period. So we have Carson and Cameron and Jelena. You guys need to put your video on, please.
Hey, what?
Put your video on.
Why? What do I have to?
I don't know.
So I can see you.
Move to a different room then?
Jelena
Move to a different room.
and
Yeah,
Cameron. All right, let's see who else. So we have Harrison, Cassidy.
Miss Karen, did you get all the emailed work I sent you?
I got a bunch. It's hard for me. I'm getting so much work. Like
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
constant all day. I
Look at
can't
the
keep
camera.
it all straight.
I just email it to you as I do it. That's what I
That's
do.
fine. But what I'm going to do later after I get done with this meeting, let me
wanna sit
mute
here.
everybody.
On the couch. On the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with that behind it.
It's
Here.
Karen.
I'm muting everybody for a minute so you can hear me. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I haven't put any grades in yet because I'm trying to do it all at once. So later today, I'm going to go through everything that you guys have sent me, put your credit in for it. So check the grade book later. And if you see that you're not getting credit for something you know you did or sent me, let me know or resend it, okay? Because somehow either I didn't get it or I made a mistake, possibly. That could happen. But you just need to resubmit it. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? Darren, is that Savannah? Yes, Savannah. Okay. Wait a few more minutes to see if anybody else pops in. I'll unmute so you guys can talk while we're waiting.
Miss Karen.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can go, David.
Oh. No, it's not important, really.
Do you guys know how to do the hand raising thing in Zoom?
No, I found it at one point.
No.
Okay, if you look at the see the participants list?
Yeah.
Does everybody, can you click on the participants? All right.
Oh.
At the bottom, there's a way to raise your hand.
Oh, now I see it.
Do you see it, Karen?
Do you mean the reactions?
What does it say for you guys?
Hold on a
It
minute.
says
Is that
raise
it?
hand.
I just did it.
Just says raise hand.
No.
Tell her where to find it.
Are you on phone or computer? Because if you're on
Computer.
phone, it's more.
Okay,
My sister found my mask.
yeah, Karen, are you on a phone or a computer?
Computer.
Okay, do you
Click
see?
more. Or something.
Oh, I see it.
All right,
Never
so
mind.
I'm going to mute everybody, and then I want everybody to raise their hand just so
How
you can.
do I do that? How do I do that?
What?
How do I do that?
How do you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Like this.
No. Listen. Do you see the thing called participants?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
Wait, I
Okay,
do.
then where is it, guys? Is it the bottom of there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I'm going to mute you now.
Oh, hold on. No, I see.
Okay, try raising your hand from there. Allie, Chris. Okay. Everybody do it, just so you know. That's about half of you. Everybody else keep going. Caleb, can you do it? Cameron, Carson. Caleb, Cameron, Carson. I need you guys to raise your hand. All right, Cameron, just you? Let me unmute you. Cameron, are you having trouble finding it? Hey, Cole. All right, let me mark off Cole. All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
sees how to raise their hands? All right, I'm going to, hold on, I
Do
gotta
you
get rid
like
of
my
some.
mask?
Yeah,
Boy.
it's really nice. I wish I had one. All
Oh.
right, can you guys,
Look at Caleb.
are you able to lower your hand yourself or do I have to do it?
No, I got it.
I got
Okay.
it.
All right, everybody lower your hand now. So most of the time I'm going to have everybody muted because I'm going to be talking about the book. And then sometimes I'm going to ask a question. If you want to answer it, hit that button to raise your hand and I'll unmute you. And then I'll mute you back, okay?
Got it.
All good? All right, so how many people do we have on here right now? We have
13.
Hey, Miss
13. Oh,
Karen,
I see it, 13. Yes, Allie?
I'm using my phone in class.
Allie, you are in big trouble now. Give me your phone. That's it. Had it.
Well, okay, take it.
All right, I'm going to just wait a few more seconds to see if anybody else comes in. Does anybody know if anybody else is planning to be here?
Oh, Miss Karen, I found my book.
Oh, from last year? Wait, you didn't read it
Yeah.
last year. What do you?
2
You didn't
years
read it
ago.
last year. Not with me.
Yeah, we read. Yeah, I had this book.
Last year's the first time I've ever taught that book, and you weren't in the class.
Yeah, I was. I was in last period, 5th period. I think we did do Lord of the Flies last year. We did. We did it in like second quarter.
I'll have to look for sure, but anyway, who cares? So are you reading it?
Yeah, I read it.
Is everybody doing their reading?
I only read the first
Okay.
chapter.
Well, that's all you had to read for today, just chapter 1 for today. So here's my question. Is anybody having trouble following it or understanding it? The language is a bit difficult to get the hang of. Anybody struggling with it?
Well, I thought dirty because, like I said, short penetrating blast or blows or whatever.
What do you mean?
At one point where it was like talking about blowing the conch or whatever.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Oh, correct. Yes, I know.
Scared.
Yeah. Hi, Lara. Okay, so we haven't actually started our discussion yet, Lara, so you are in here just in time. All right, so Lara, do you know how to do the hand raising in Zoom? Do you see where it says participants? Can you see the list for participants? It tells everybody who's here. Okay, go to the bottom of that. And I think I don't know why I can't retain this. Do you click more, or what do you click, guys?
For me,
You
it's
go to
more.
participants, and then right there it's raise hand. Like
All right, do you see the thing that says raise hand?
No.
Can anybody help her find it?
Are you
Click
on
more.
phone or computer? Cool.
She's on a phone.
All right, click
Okay.
more then.
Yeah,
Click
click
more.
more, and then there's an option to raise hand.
No, why you need that?
Okay, it's okay. It's okay, Lara, if you can't find it right now. I'm going to mute everybody, and I'm going to get started, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Oh my gosh, I love this mute button. I love it. I've got to find a way to have it in class. Okay, let me get all this stuff out of my way so I can concentrate on you guys. All right. So basically, what's happening so far in this book is you have a plane that has crashed. We don't know if it's an island. At the beginning, we don't know. We don't know where they are. We don't know why it's crashed. We do know that on the plane was a bunch of boys from a school, from someplace in England. And they range from ages. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the age range is of these boys? All right, hold on. Carson?
Like 6 to 12.
Correct. So they're ages 6 to 12. The first person that we meet in this book is a boy, well, actually, there's two of them, but a fair-haired boy named, who knows it? What's the first boy that we meet? The first two boys that we meet. Karen? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it's not unmuting you. Sorry, hold on. Maybe it's because there's a chat. Okay, Karen, what's the boy that we first meet?
Ralph and Piggy.
Correct, Ralph and Piggy. All right. Sorry, because there's like, I'm talking and then there's people putting up chat messages. So you can't be doing that, okay? Unless it's something really relevant, because it's distracting to me and I don't know if it's something important, and I don't want to lose my track, and I don't want us to be here forever talking about the book. Okay, oh, I see some other people raise their hands too. So yes, we have Ralph and Piggy when the book first starts. And so Ralph, all we know about him is that he's a fair-haired boy. I guess physically he has a pretty good physical appearance. But what do we know about Piggy? Hands? All right, David. David? David, I can't hear you.
Oh, I said he's chubby.
Right, so he's a chubby guy, he wears glasses, and if you watch the video that I sent you earlier about this book, kind of a general thing, there's a lot of symbolism in this book. And so what do you think Piggy's glasses symbolize? Anybody know? I think I might even have told you. David? I'm gonna unmute you guys for a minute. If it gets too crazy, I'll have to remute you. So Piggy's glasses, I have too much background noise. Piggy's glasses represent intelligence, science, reasoning. They tie him to that world of intelligence, okay? And those glasses there's gonna be a lot of activity with those glasses throughout the book. So you're gonna see, well, let me talk more about it, and so it should become clear. So we have Ralph, we have Piggy, and we have another main character boy, and his name is Jack. So what happens is Ralph and Piggy appear in the very beginning. They don't know what's happened, like why their plane has crashed, where they are, or anything. They find this conch shell, and you can say conch or conch, either way is correct to pronounce it. And Piggy says, oh, my aunt had one of those or something, and you can blow through it and it makes a really loud noise. So Ralph blows through the conch shell, and people, little other boys, start kind of coming out of the woods and weird places, and they're being called to this point where Ralph and Piggy are. And we also see a group of boys walking down the beach wearing choir robes. And they also, as a group, come up, and now you have a whole bunch of people there. So give me one sec. All right, so the main thing that you are looking for as you read this book, the main theme of this book, what it's all about, is how there is civilization and there's barbarianism in all of us. Everybody is civilized, has the potential to be civilized or to be barbaric. And that is what's happening in this book. You're going to see this life or death situation that these kids are in. Which way are they going to go? They're coming from civilization. They're from England. They've grown up in a civilized society. But now they're in a situation where there are no adults, there are no rules, they're in charge, they have to do everything from scratch, basically. How are they going to handle it? So that's what you're looking for. What comes out of each person in this dire situation as they struggle with that conflict of being civilized or being savage? Okay, you know what I mean? So you're looking for things like the civilized things would be like following rules. The uncivilized things would be violence and selfishness and fighting to be the leader of the group, animal instincts, destruction. So those are the things that are going to compete in each of these boys as they try to live on this island. So they are young boys, so they're like kind of half formed. They're half boy, they're half man. They're going to go one way or the other in all this. Sorry. And so what the author is saying is that basically all people are born savage and barbarian. And if you're left to your own devices, that's how you're going to behave. But as part of being around parents and other people that help us grow up, that's how we learn to be civilized. And that's how we learn to fit into society and to work in a society. So he's saying, Golding, the author, is that that is a learned thing. It's not innate. We're not born with it. It has to be learned how to behave in society in a civilized way. We need a system in place to make us obey the rules, to behave peacefully and to follow the orders, because without it, we would not do it naturally. So you know how boys can be, and here we have a whole bunch of boys. Boys can be violent and boys can be cruel. And so there's the potential for these things to come out of these boys in this situation. All right, so as their time on the island begins, they're mostly acting how? Civilized or savage? Hands? All right, Allie?
They're pretty civilized at first.
Correct. Good job. They're civilized at first, and we see that because they're doing things like electing a leader and assigning work. Like one group says, well, we can be the army, we can be the hunters, and they're exploring the island. Those are intelligent things to do in this situation. And they're trying to, at first, they're trying to recreate a civilized society. But we also see some signs of savagery at first also, like we see them taunting Piggy. They're not being nice to Piggy at all, right? The one thing that Piggy says to Ralph when they meet is, I don't care what you call me, just don't call me what they used to call me at school. And Ralph says, what's that? And he says, Piggy. And so of course, Ralph immediately starts laughing at him and calling him Piggy. And when Ralph introduces him to all the other boys that come up, he introduces him as Piggy, and that is his name throughout the book. So that's a cruel thing to do. Jack, the leader of the choir boys, he shows kind of a ferocious side in a couple different ways. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then remember when they go out on the expedition to see what's going on? Is this an island? Is this not an island? And they're way at the top and they come across this giant rock and they all work together to heave it, and it goes flying off the side of the cliff and down into the forest below, or whatever's below. That's very destructive. So yes, we're seeing signs of civilization, but we're also seeing signs of savagery right at the beginning. So we don't know which way this is going to go yet. All right, we might have some foreshadowing, but it's pretty early on. All right, so one of the first things that happens when with Ralph and Piggy, Ralph strips down naked. He has on no clothes. Now, what do you think that symbolizes? Hands? All right, Josh?
Barbarities.
What does it symbolize?
Non-civilized actions.
Yeah, kind of. It is not a very civilized thing, is it? David, what do you think? David?
Oh, I said maybe how vulnerable we are to the forces.
That's a pretty good one too. Also, it represents kind of shedding their former life. It's like almost like a cleansing thing. To strip off your clothes, which are a part of society, is kind of removing you from your old society. And now here you are in this brand new situation, and you are moving away from the adult world and toward freedom. Okay, which probably sounds.
Wait, Miss Karen, was he
Yeah?
thick?
Huh?
Was he thick?
What do you mean?
Was he thick, boy?
I don't know what that means. Okay, so so Ralph just strips down naked. Piggy does not. Piggy takes off some of his clothes. So that is showing us that Piggy is holding on to his tie to this civilized society. Just like he wears these glasses, the fact that he's not stripping down naked like Ralph did, it's showing that he's more strongly tied to his civilized side. So then the next thing that Ralph does after he's naked is he goes for a swim in the ocean. I think part of the water has come up and gotten trapped in a lower section on the beach, and he goes into that warm water. And so anytime in literature when you have water, water means more than it's just water. Water almost always means some kind of a cleansing when you're reading good literature, and that is what it means here. So it means cleansing and life and freedom. And beyond that, not just the fact that it's water, but the type of water in a good book means something. So is it a river? Is it a lake? Is it the ocean? Well, if it's the ocean, that's another layer of symbolism. The ocean, because it's so vast and it takes up so much of the Earth's surface, the ocean represents a huge obstacle. Well, now obviously these boys have a huge obstacle to overcome because they're stranded on an island with no adults and no plan, and who knows what's going to happen. So how are they going to do this? Are they going to overcome the obstacle, or are they going to be dragged down into the depths of this obstacle? So not only does he cleanse himself in water, but the ocean represents this obstacle that is in front of all of them. Okay, so then after all the boys, and let me say one other thing. So when you hear choir, what does choir mean? What is a choir? Well, a choir is a group of singers, right? And typically, where do you have a choir? Hands? All right, Karen?
A church.
Correct. So you have a choir at church. So these boys, not only do they have on their regular clothes, but they also have another layer on top of them, their choir robes. And what do right away? They remove their choir robes and throw them aside. So what do you think that's symbolic of what they're stepping away from? What are they leaving behind, moving away from, do you think? Carson?
They're becoming like more barbaric, doing things that they wouldn't be able to do if there were adults around.
Right, but let's think of them specifically because they're associated with a choir, which is associated with church. So what they're doing when they symbolically when they shed those robes is they're also stepping away from the confines or the structure of the church or religion. Yes, good. Okay. So then after they're all together, they decide that they're going to have a vote to see who should be the leader. And the two people that have come up as the possible choices to vote between are Ralph, the fair-haired boy that we first meet, and Jack, the one who's in charge of the choir boys. And who ends up winning the election? Who wants to say? I need to see some other hands here. I'm seeing the same people. I mean, Cole, Cassidy, Savannah. Let's see, who do I have? All right, go ahead, David. There's always a lag when you speak. David, who wins the election?
Oh, sorry. Oh, there's so much noise in the background that I turned my mic off.
Oh, okay.
Ralph?
Right. Ralph wins the election. So Ralph wins the election, but Piggy, well, before the election is won, when it's Piggy's turn to vote, he hesitates. Everybody else knows right away who they want. All the choir boys pick Jack just because he's their leader anyway. But everybody else is choosing Ralph. But Piggy, when it's his turn to vote, he doesn't say right away, I choose Ralph. Why do you think he hesitates? Okay, Carson, where are you?
Bullying him.
Say it again.
He started off kind of bullying him.
Okay, Allie, get out of that right now. I know there's a way for me to stop that. Okay, I have to do it here. Hold on. All right. Allie, are you listening? Are you following along on this?
It was because Ralph was kind of like bullying him from the start. He asked him not to call him Piggy, and he started laughing at him and calling him Piggy, so he wouldn't really want to be involved with that.
Great job, Carson. So that's one reason that he hesitates. Secondly, do you think that Piggy thinks that does he have any idea at this point if Ralph is going to be a good leader? No, he hardly knows him. So the fact that he hesitates shows that Piggy is thinking. He is a thinking person. He's not acting on instinct or not thinking something through, because remember, we tie him to science and intelligence. So the fact that there's a few things going on. He's showing that he's thoughtful about it. He's thinking about it. He is mad at Ralph because Ralph has already betrayed him by telling all the boys this guy's name is Piggy, so he's not happy about that. He doesn't find him to be a trustworthy guy. So the fact that he hesitates is really more than just a quick hesitation. Everything in this book, there's so much going on. Like everything that happens, you can think on a deeper level about it. It makes it really interesting. And then when they decide, after Ralph has been elected, when they decide that they need to put together an expedition to go explore this area to see if it is even an island, because if it's not an island, maybe they can, just walk to get help. Who goes on the expedition? There's 3 people that decide to go. Who are they? Lara, is your...
I don't know how to raise the hand.
Oh, your hand was up and I need to lower it. Let me lower it, and then you're free to raise your hand again. Okay, Josh, do you want to say something?
I know Jack was one of them.
Yep, Jack was one, and Ralph was one, and another boy named Simon, who was one of the choir boys, who kind of fell on the beach and didn't seem like he was doing that well. He's one of them. And Simon, even though we've just barely met him, he's going to have a huge role in this book for what he symbolizes. But I'm not going to talk about that yet, but he's another interesting character. Oh, we met a set of twins, and their names are Sam and Eric. And they were not in the choir, but they were just some of the other boys that came along. So we have a bunch of characters that we've met so far. But anyway, those 3, Jack, Ralph, and Simon, decide they're going to go exploring. And who do you think wants to come along with them?
Who I think wants to come along? Oh, Simon.
No, Simon is going along with them. It's Simon, Ralph, and Jack. But one more person thinks he should be going with them.
Piggy.
Piggy thinks he should be going. Why do you think Piggy wants to go on this expedition? So Piggy feels, I mean, Piggy is definitely the most intelligent of all the people. We've seen that already. So he should be a part of all the decision making or all the big things that happen, but he's not. They don't want him to go. So Piggy wants to join because he's always been an outsider. He wants acceptance. You can see, like, even with his home life, we hear him talk about his aunt, and he has asthma. And so he doesn't live with his parents. His father died. His mother, we don't know what's going on with her, but he lives with his aunt. So he's just kind of an outcast, and he wants to be a part of a group. And so that's one other reason he wants to go on this expedition. Let me see if I'm missing anything. He wants to be respected, basically. He wants to be a part of everything. Do they let him go on the expedition? No, they do not. He tries following along behind him, but he can't keep but he can't keep up, and he ends up having to go back with the other boys. So when they're on the expedition, they do determine that this is an island, and the three boys, Jack, Ralph, and Simon, are getting along pretty well on this. And when they start to head back, they come across a wild animal. Does anybody remember what that animal is that they find that's trapped in some brambles? Hands? David? Hold on, let me unmute you. Go ahead. Do your microphone, David.
The creeper. A creeper.
No?
Oh, that was before, right? My bad.
What animal do they find that's struggling to get free?
Crap.
Nobody? All right, you guys I know this is not an easy read, but you're gonna have to read it more closely. They come across a piglet that's stuck in some brambles. And so Jack, right away, pulls out a knife. Jack has a knife on him. Just the fact that Jack has a knife on him tells us more about Jack, that he's going to probably lean toward the savage side, the violent side. All right. So he pulls out a knife and he raises it because this would be great food for all these people who are going to be starving after this first day on the island. So he raises the knife and the pig is trapped. He could easily stab it, but he doesn't. He stops himself. So thinking about what the theme of this book is, savagery and civilization, why does he stop himself? Why doesn't he just stab the pig so they can have food? I'm going to just call on somebody. Let's go to Jelena. Why doesn't he just stab the pig?
He doesn't want to hurt him, I guess. He doesn't have it in him to hurt him.
Very good. You're exactly right. At this point, that tells us that he is still
civilized.
He's still civilized. He's still leaning more towards civilized side. He can't do it. But he says, next time I'll do it, because it's embarrassing, right? I mean, of course, the boys are going to think he's being a big wuss because he couldn't do it. But to stab a living animal like that, that's got to be a really hard thing to do. And he's just not there yet. But we'll see if he gets there. He says he's going to be able to next time, but we'll see. And then last thing, as far as symbolism, what do you think the conch shell represents? The conch shell that they use to call people. And this could be anybody, not just Jelena. I'm sorry, Jelena. I'm going to mute you again. So anybody want to take a stab at what the conch shell might represent? Because it's a very important symbol throughout this book. And how they use this conch shell throughout the book means something. Let's have Karen. What do you think the conch shell represents?
Leadership.
Yeah, it does. It represents leadership and it represents civilization because it's used to call meetings, which is a civilized thing to do. So just pay attention to how the conch shell is used throughout this book. Okay?
Okay.
All right, everybody. And then don't go away yet. I got a couple more things to say. Okay, so as you read for next week, it's chapters 2 and 3. They're shorter than chapter 1, so you have 2 of them. Chapters 2 and 3, and we'll talk about them next Friday. But remember, as you read, you are constantly looking for these signs of which way these boys are going to go, signs of these things coming out of them. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? How are they going to handle the situation? What conflicts are going to arise? I mean, do you think that these boys are all going to just get along and work together and create a new society? Because that could happen. Who thinks that? You can actually just raise your hand here if you think that's what's going to happen. And then who thinks that everything's just going to devolve into craziness? Could go that way too. It's going to unfold slowly, but we're already seeing signs of things. So it'll be fun to read, to watch, to see how things come out. Okay, so that's it for the book. If you have any questions about the book or you're not clear on something, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll answer it right now. And then I'll tell you the last couple of things and we will end our meeting. All right, no questions? Okay, so does everybody know, you know how every time we have a new quarter, you have a new 4-paragraph essay to write. And on Monday of this week, I posted your quarter 4 essay assignment. Does everybody know they have an essay due Tuesday? Yes? I posted it again on Friday, today, in Friday's work, so that if you missed it on Monday, you can see it, but it's due Tuesday. There are 2 options. One is about the importance of keeping a clean house, and the other is how parents should handle a bad report card. So you get to choose either of those. You know, you're doing the thesis statement. You have to have a hook in this. Don't just start writing it with your thesis statement. But I wrote notes about that in the assignment. So you need a hook, you need a thesis, you need to preview your 2 points. Each point gets its own paragraph, and then you conclude by kind of saying what you said in the opening paragraph. All right, any questions about that, just email me or chat, message me and let me know. And I know you guys are going to LMS to find your work, but remember how you can also go to just regular RenWeb, not lms.renweb. If you go to regular RenWeb, there's a place where you can do a homework drop. So instead of emailing it to me, find the homework drop and you can upload it there. And that's really good for me because I can tell right away if there's been new work added. It's easy. Emailing is fine too, but you also have the option of the homework drop, which I'd like to see people start using. I think that'll be helpful. And you know you have a short story quiz that's due today for your vocab words. Everybody good with that? Okay, I've gotten a couple of them, but not from everybody. And I have posted answers to the worksheets from this week. Carson, do you have a question? Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I've posted answers to the worksheets. So if you have not already done the worksheet, after I've posted the questions, you turn it in. I will note that because that means you might have just gone on there and gotten the answers without doing the work first. So make sure that you're doing the worksheet and then looking at the answers on Friday to check your work. All right. It's a video of me talking about the answers. It's amazing. Okay, I think I have one more thing to say. It has something to, oh, Quizlet. Is everybody okay going on Quizlet and doing the study section for that lesson for that week? Everybody good with that? Because on Quizlet, as the administrator, I can just log in and it shows me everybody's name and what exactly they've done that week, or I can go back a couple weeks or whatever. But I can easily see that if you've done the work or not, and that's one of your assignments for the week. So I'm putting in grades later today. You want to make sure if you haven't done it, you go and do it so that you get credit for that. You don't get a 0 in that assignment. Any questions for me? Let me unmute everybody.
I didn't know about that source quiz. Thanks for letting me know.
Okay, well, it's in LMS, so you might need to go back to another day this week to find it. I can't remember where I posted it. Make sure you're checking and make sure you're getting everything done. But go into Quizlet and do the study section for lesson 10.
Yeah, I did quiz it too.
Oh, okay. All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, I miss you guys. I hope everybody's staying safe. Is everybody like bored at home?
Yes.
Nope.
Hi, Savannah.
Where are you going out, Carson?
No, I was gonna go work, but not today.
You got a job?
No, I'm just doing work for my mom's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's, best to stay home if you can, please. Just to try to, let's let this epidemic end so we can get back to normal. Although I do really like being home. I'm really enjoying doing school from home. Do you guys like it better?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you miss being
Kind
around
of.
everybody? Yeah, it's good in ways, isn't it? I like it. I got laundry done while I was doing school. Amazing. All right. So just let me know. Yeah, honey, go ahead.
I did all my work for your class.
I know you've been fantastic, Karen. You're really on it. A lot of you are really on the work, and I'm so proud of you for taking it seriously and just being great students. So you should be proud of yourselves too. Thanks for doing that. All right, you guys, chat me or email me or whatever if you have any questions. Okay, and I will talk to you next Friday. Look for all my updates in LMS. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.